Hi everyone, it's Norman Koshnik here. I was just watching both Dinesh Chandimal on 117 not out, partnered by Ramesh Mendes, who will both come off the field now. And it's been amazing. It's been a great effort indeed. Australia are really up against it here, even though they're taking a couple of late wickets. Sri Lanka are 6 for 431, some 67 runs in front. They've lost the last 2 wickets rather cheaply. Dick Weller went cheaply, and obviously Kamindu Mendes has got his 61. But there we are. Dinesh Chandimal's batted fantastically, having scored 117 not out. So they're 6 for 431. 149 overs they've made Australia field for, and Nathan Lyon and cramps, all sorts of issues were out there. There's no doubt having Dinesh Chandimal there at the end of the day's play. 117 not out, so actually not 118 not out. Look at that batting line. Nissanka got 6, but Demuth got Kurunaraka got 86. Koshal Mendes 85. Angelo Matthews 52. Chandimal not out 118. Kamindu in his first test match 61. Dick Well unfortunately couldn't be patient 5. And Ramesh Mendes is on 7 not out. There's some 67 in front, and they've still got 4 wickets in hand. They could well put on 100 plus runs lead tomorrow, and that's gonna frighten Australia. I'll tell you now, it will not be a good situation for Australia, even though I actually said that it'd be 100 runs in front, and well, they're very close to 67 in front, so I'm very happy with that situation. Emma Von, yes, Sri Lanka have a serious chance to draw this test series 1-1. Subhashis Reddy, how are you? So this is a brilliant performance by Sri Lanka, in particular Dinesh Chandimal, the 118 not out, but ably supported by 80s from both Kaushal Mendes and Demuth Karunaratne. A good 61 from the debutant Kamindu Mendes, really, and then another 50 from Angelo Matthews, plus the 100 from Dinesh Chandimal. All gone very well. A couple missed out, but generally they batted well. I was particularly ticked off. I was livid when I saw Travis Head carrying on like a pork chop with Warner and Alex Kerr caught behind. It was clearly not out, and but the fact that they couldn't they couldn't go for the DRS because they've run out of appeals. It's disgusting, and Travis Head should have his head read because he thinks he's a bowler, and if he doesn't get the wicket go his way, kicks up a big stink. I'm disgusted with that. I'm absolutely disgusted. I think it was appalling effort. And then Labuschagne at the end thinking he can bowl leg spin and carrying like a pork chop. They've just been proven to be gooses, and Australia have proven to me that they're quite not deserving of this title. They're far too cocky. And Travis Head should not be in the team. I would not have him there. He's detrimental to the team, I reckon. Get Glenn Maxwell in there, quick smart. Labuschagne, I've got a low tolerance for him as well, even though he did score a century in the first innings with Steve Smith, which was impressive. But they only got 364. And now that Sri Lanka are now well past that, there's some 67 runs ahead. They're 431 for 6, and they've got plenty of batting still left. And they could. Do you think Umran has a chance to play today? Subhash is ready. I hope so. They're holding him back for some reason. Maybe they're holding him back for the World Cup. Maybe they're using him as an X factor, not wanting to expose people to watching his technique. It could well be something as simple as that. I also agree, mate. Head is totally pathetic. Sam, it ticks me off. This pathetic long hop at the leg side, and the batsman attempted to play the shot, missed it, and he carried it like it was the best ball in the century. And now I'm a great bowler. And then he got this whistle, and he was kicking his shoes and getting angry. You know what? That disgusts me. He's a jerk, quite frankly. He shouldn't be allowed to bowl his crap. Labuschagne's not much better, and they've got this head swellish. Actually, they're good bowlers. Even Steve Smith got the decency not to bowl. He's probably a better bowler than both of them put together. Shrepson tried his harder. Yes, Lyon tried his harder as well. Lyon got Russian Dick Weller with a battle of patience, which was pretty impressive. But then Travis Head, I'd get rid of him. I can't stand him. And he doesn't field that well. He's quite an ordinary fieldsman. He's got tickets on him. He's all big time. It's quite embarrassing. Australia badly collapsed in the first thing, 320 for 4 to 364. Well, actually, 5 down. Yeah, that's still pretty awful. But Sri Lanka, especially because Dinesh Chandimal, who's come out of this brilliantly with 118 not out, sensational batting performance. He virtually batted all day, and certainly led the charge for Sri Lanka. So before we start with the broadcast on India versus England, and India are heading for a third win in a row, I'm pretty sure. India are in total command of where they're playing. England, surprisingly not good in the short format. They played particularly well in the test format, but not in the long format, which is a short format. I'm a bit shocked, actually. Deepak here, hello, how are you? It's quite upsetting, actually, because I'm not sure, what's going on there. England did really well. They probably need McCullum to be more involved with the short form. Pat Cummins should realise that Head didn't deserve his test here. I'm disgusted. I think the way he carried on just then before was just madness. Oh, look at that great ball. It was a ranked short ball, piece of crap, didn't deserve a wicket. And the fact that they had the audacity to think that it actually did nick it and went upstairs, and that was just completely not true. And they got upset about it. They blew their chance until Ramesh Mendes knew exactly what had to happen in that situation. So he dropped that catch. Yes, so that's what I think, and I'm disgusted with the way it carried on. I think first time England will be with whitewash at home in T20 international. I think so too, very much so. I think it's a disgraceful England team. Are really bit sort of, I don't know, they're quite chopped up there. We're watching Ian Chappell with what looks like David Lloyd on a program with Brendan Julian, a cricket bat sitting in front there. Looking back to the 1974-75 Ashes, Australia won 6 Test Series 4-1. Its first Ashes victory since 1964. So looking back at time, Ian Chappell, still a great guy. So yeah, I think England will be in a bit of a shock mode at the moment. They'll be a little bit concerned about the way that India ran through them very cheaply. And they've got. Let me look at some of the scores they've had. They're all out for a measly. In fact, while we're talking, I better include Scotland are playing Namibia. Scotland are 3 for 122 in their ODI, and then we have Ireland versus New Zealand. Ireland are 3 for 168 after 34.2 overs against New Zealand in Malahide in Dublin, quite a famous ground. West Indies versus Bangladesh. Well, that's not yet started. That'll start same time. The first day will start at the same time as the T20 international that India will play England in. Then, of course, Australia versus Sri Lanka. Just in case you haven't heard the score, Australia are out for 364, but Sri Lanka are 6 for 431. There's some 67 in front, and if they go well past 100, which they should, it'll lead to a pretty ordinary. Australia will be behind the 8 ball somewhat. Baz ball is really not working for England in the T20. Well, it's not. Baz is not there, is he? Some are saying that India is defeating England's team. How Roy, Butler, Mohan, Sam Mal, and Livingston Jordan can be a C team. Well, they're not a C team. That's a very good team. Butler, Mohan Ali, Sam Curran, of course, Livingston's up top player, Chris Jordan. They're good players. Can Australia bat well tomorrow? Himanshu, I honestly think they're going to be up against it somewhat. They won't have it all their own way. The pitch is spitting quite severely. There'll be a lot of pressure, especially if Sri Lanka go beyond 100 lead. Then they're going to be pressured. I tell you, and it'll be very, very difficult to score more than 200 in their innings, and that will mean they're only going to be 100 or less because there'll be 100 in arrears to start with. So I would suggest that. As far as I'm aware, Australia will be 100 or so behind, if not more, and they'll have to get rid of that before they can start putting Sri Lanka back into bat. And if they only score 200 to 250, that'll mean the lead will be between 100 and 150 or even less. So that's my thoughts. I think that Australia will bat as well as they can, but the conditions will be against them. Deepak Dubey, I'm a bit scared because Kohli, like Brand, will kick out. It's unfair. Look, they're probably going to keep Kohli. If anything, it's going to be his last series, I would imagine, and in turn, Huda may be there for the future, which is still good. when they had the Dhoni's or the Tendulkars or the Ganggulis, they give them a send off, and you've got to be fair. Virat Kohli probably won't be playing short form cricket beyond the World Cup, so they might give the World Cup as his last hurrah. Bangladesh whitewashed in the Caribbean 2-0 and Test and 2-0 in the T20 International. Yeah, it's pretty ordinary Bangladesh side at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. Not impressed with them at all, to be honest. All right, so the toss is not for 45 minutes, but Sri Lanka, very, very impressive indeed. Very, very impressed with the way that they went about their business. Ireland was 3 for 178 after 35 overs against the New Zealand team, which has Martin Guptill still playing for, which is intriguing. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. They're showing any trouble with Jeff Thompson. Jeff Tomo, I know pretty well. Sabash, what do you say? Australia mostly will lose this match. That means India and Pakistan will play the World Test Championship final. Well, that's going to be interesting. Apparently, if Sri Lanka win this match, they'll actually go to third spot. That's also another bit of a story. Carey's wicket keeping. I know that Dickwell dropped a catch, but yeah, you're right, Sabash. Carey's wicket keeping was very ordinary. He really missed something that he should have learnt better from. They weren't overly. They didn't rear up too much. Pretty ordinary stumpings. I agree. Definitely agree. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, Sri Lanka lead by 67 runs. What a turnaround for the first test match, because they were pathetic in the first test match. The batting fell apart. But this time around, they've all contributed. Five out of the top 7 batters contributed. 5. Namely, Karunaratne with 86. Kosher Mendes 85, 118 from Chandamal, Matthews 52, and then a further 61 from Kamindu. That's top 5 batters. Only Nasanka, and then below that, Roshan Dickwell didn't get runs, but let's be honest, both of those guys, in particular, Roshan Dickwell has already done well in the first test, so I'm not worried about that too much. And he was up against it. I knew he had no pressure on him. I think he needs a bit of pressure when he bats. Now, if Pakistan beat India in a T20 World Cup, then India have no chance in the T20 World Cup. Okay, it's important to remember. Dharmasena, pathetic umpiring. Chalmers was caught out, not given, and Matthews was out and not given. I am a bit suspect about that too, Sebastian, a little bit. Kyle Thomas told what we wanted to win Test series in India. Do you think they will? No, I don't think they will. South Africa, Pakistan, India, any 2 of these teams can qualify. Yeah, I think South Africa will fall away. Playing England and Australia, they'll get knocked off by both those teams. Sri Lanka versus Pakistan coming up in about a week or so's time. Pretty crucial to Pakistan to keep their head up, because Sri Lanka are also coming with a late charge as well. And if they beat Australia in this match, which they've got a very good chance of doing. Yeah, so good on you. When Sri Lanka came to the cricket to fight for their country, as you all know, all around the stadium there was protests, both in Colombo and Galle, raiding the presidents and previously the prime ministers, both Goto Rajapaksa and Mahinda Rajapaksa. Both of their homes have been ransacked, and they've been ousted, and hopefully they've fled, and deservedly so. They're both pathetic, corrupt, mongering leaders that just control several elections. They've also put Rangal as their puppet prime minister as well. They need to be all ousted, and I think Sri Lanka will be for the better for it. Not in the short term, but in the long term. I think Australia's missing quality left arm spinner. I would agree. Lyon is good. Ashton Agar would have made the lot event in this game. Yes, I think it's unfortunately he's not there. And they had John Holland. They also had this other Kuhneman guy. So yeah, I think you're right. If Aussies lose this test, so they will be at the top of the All Test Championship. It's amazing, isn't it? Temporarily, because England and Australia will do them over in their series. So yeah. Okay, these guys are in unison now, which is good. So I started a bit early, guys. I'm sorry, I was so impressed with Sri Lanka. They've really come out firing, and they really have shown to me that they are worthy of their spot after a pretty ordinary first Test match where they looked terrible, to be honest with you. Come back very well in this match, actually. England not included Johnny Bairstow in T20. And this T20, okay, interesting. Don't know what's going on there. Johnny Bairstow playing like a T20 champion in the Test format, which is hard to comprehend. Yeah, so it's a lot. And of course, probably the most dramatic thing is we've got Wimbledon on tonight as well. Wimbledon. It'll be very interesting. Nick Kyrgios from Australia playing against Djokovic. I don't like Djokovic's attitude, especially with COVID, the way he's carried on like a pork chop. So, I don't think there'll be any issues at all. I think it'll be quite an impressive little effort there. All right, so what have we got here? Will Buckle Data's joined us. Deepak Dubey, I was talked to you before. At the start of the Test series, I reckon Coonan should have played Test. Yeah, perhaps. England not include Johnny Bairstow. I told you that. Will Imran be playing this game? I don't know whether he will. They should put him in there, but they're probably not. Okay. Australia want Sri Lanka to win against Pakistan and England to win against South Africa. India is likely to play final as they have all home matches. Yeah, I think that's well. I don't think Sri Lanka will beat Pakistan. Your prediction: 2-1 or 3-0? We're talking about. I think 3-0. I think 3-0. In terms of the T20. What's going on here? We already started the game. That's too early. They're trying to replay that. So the first match they're showing it, not the current match. So we'll draw this game. I'm not going to say that aloud just yet because I don't think there's any certainty that happening at all. Okay, so Kuhneman should have played. Okay, I kind of agree with you. Prediction in ODI, okay. Bad luck comes these tests. The batter's left him, I think so. Pitch is flat, somewhat so. What do you think? Should India really drop world-class player like for a collar? Vishwa JD, I don't think they're going to do that before this World Cup, to be honest with you. But he might call it his swan song. So he might see his last performance in this format. And as far as ODIs are concerned, it may well be his last time next year in the format as well. So if that's, which is, fair enough. Give him a swan song, as they've done to most players in those predicaments. Nothing wrong with that at all. So it's 10:22. 11:30 is the game, so it's still got an hour and 8 minutes to go. But we'll probably see the toss in about half an hour or so. Yeah, about 42 minutes actually. And that'll be interesting. Packham should drop Head and Carey. I agree. Inglis and Hunt should go in the replacement. All right, fair enough. Best options. I think so. Okay. Who should replace them? Maxi and Maxi definitely. I think should be one of the people to replace in the short form. Inglis is probably the keeping option. Yes, Alex Carey's proven to be pretty ordinary. So India are heading towards a third straight victory in this format against England on England soil, which is very hard to comprehend. Very, very hard to comprehend. Moeen Ali's a real surprise packet too. But yeah, I think India, it will still be the one that is inconsistent. We'll give him a chance. English or Carey, who is better keeper? I think English is a better all-round package. Carey's a bit steadier, but not with his keeping, though. He's kept atrociously in Sri Lanka. Much worse than Rosh and Dickwell did. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Now we've got the I reckon Fleet will play Test at 7. Well, I think Josh English is a better proposition than Fleet, to be honest. Bill for sure. Let's have a look here. I'm just saying who's Do you see the cricket bat there? It's signed by Arthur Morris, Jeff Thompson, and Glenn McGrath. Unusual combination, but that's what's been done there. So, Ralph Jensen's here. Sri Lanka could be all out now if they didn't waste their reviews. Cummins is a coordinary captain. No, what's his problem? Because Philippe and Green partnership was unsolvable. In my opinion, Virat should be dropped for a few matches. Selection should be based on performance, not an reputation. He's really not to his best. I don't think they're going to do it, though. Norman, if India managed to win 4-0 versus Australia, Australia will be out of the World Test Championship final, which will be very unfortunate. Last time they missed spots because of worst umpiring by Joel Wilson Headingley Test. We'll just wait and see. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Very interesting. Indeed. Just wanting to see. Are you ready? Got a little listing there? Live preview. No, it's the live preview. Third test. That's right. Third T20I. 66. It's getting there. Okay, so Australia beat 3-1 to India, then India totally out of. Well, I don't know. Australia's not going to beat India that much. I don't think there's much over that. Norman, can you see Australia winning or at least drawing a test with the middle order in Head, Green, Carey, Swipson? No. Or hell, India needs to 6 out of 6 to reach. Well, they'll do it. Draw or Lanka win. I think Lanka win. So I think Lanka will win. Don't put question marks there. Lanka will win. I think if they get everything going their way, good luck. With a bit of luck, we'll see. What do you think is what weak link of the Indian T20 side? The constant change of the team. They've got to create a team structure now. Whether they open with Rowett and Rahul or Rowett and if it's going to be Kohli, then do it. Stick to it. Why are you trolling Green? It's just first subcontinent tour. Why am I? No, I'm not trolling. I'm chasing 150 on last day is not going to be easy for Sri Lanka. That's if they have to get that many runs. I don't know whether they will, because they're 67 at the moment. They should be well past 100. I can't imagine Australia getting more than 250, so it'll be less than 150 actually. Okay. So Yeah, chasing 150. So yeah, we've got Wimbledon starting and 2 minutes too, by the way, guys. A little bit hard to watch both, but we're going to try. Until look here. 9 now. Here we go. The music's starting up. What's that music? How did it care if you drop? What was music coming from? Great music. Okay, let's get back to this. Why are you trying? I'm not trying. What do you think this week? I already mentioned all these things. I don't think Australia scored 300 runs at all. Head and Cambridge we dropped. I agree. Sebastian, again, you're because no, why not? Because Australia will draw the. I don't think they're going to bet that well. I think they should. Okay, very well. The Shanghai News is just finished. Campbell Kellaway's next shiny big thing. Who the hell is Campbell Kellaway? I don't know where you're going. I'm not. Where are you going that name? If Shine draws this, that percentage will be 33.3. If they lose, it'll be 70. So, oh well, so that might be first, but let's be honest, they won't stay there. No idea. Campbell Kellaway, I don't know who that is. No idea. I know what I really want to know who Campbell Kellaway. I don't know where these names come from. So don't forget, we've got Rafael Nadal has pulled out of the Wimbledon in the semi-final. That led Nick Kyrgios to go straight to the final, and he will play, of course, the winner of Novak Djokovic. Mosen, how are you?
Hello, how are you, Norman?
I was quite impressed by Sri Lanka. They did really well.
Very, very impressive. How good, how good. Top four have batted. Unfortunately, the two guys have missed out on 100. That is very, very unfortunate for me.
Yeah.
But really, really an impressive show. And we've been talking about this for a long time that we wanted Sri Lanka to be competitive, and sure did in last 2 days. They've shown their competitiveness. And last time I remember when we were talking about, and we were saying if Australia can be packed up around 350, 360 mark, Sri Lanka will be on the upper hand. And that's what they did. They came back and clean up Australian tail really quickly, even though Smith got 145, but they mop up the tail really quickly. And then what a partnership they have for second wicket, third wicket onwards. And yeah, unfortunately the two guys couldn't make their hundreds. What they got 86 and 85 for both Karatne and Mendes, which I was hoping that they both go on and get the 100, well deserved 100. But Chandimal, I know you said the other day he was subpar, but him and Matthew put in a good partnership, and he finally got 100. And
Well, he was batting subpar, but he's proven himself.
Absolutely, 100%. He came out really well and scored his 100 in 232 balls, very well constructed innings. Mendes again another 60. He's been consistent as well.
Not another 60. Mendes, that's his first 50. It's his first innings. His debutant innings.
Debutant.
It looked like he'd been here all of his life.
Yeah. So I was actually getting him mixed up with Kushal Mendes, but yeah, this is good. Dick Waller was disappointed. He ran down to Nathan Lyon.
There was no pressure on Dick Weller.
I know that's exactly right. And again, should that again push his case to go up the order, whether he still needs to bat? I don't think he's clear on his role, what he wants to do. He wanted to take the attack to the spinners. That's why he probably ran down to the spinners and wanted to take the attack to Nathan Lyon, who's not. I don't think he's 100% fit. At one point, he walked off the field. I think it was his hamstring that was a bit tight. He's bowled quite a few overs in this Test match already, but I don't think he's 100% fit. So what's Sri Lanka's 431 for 6, which is what a lead of 67 overnight. So look, they can still get another 100, 150. And that would make things a lot interesting going into day 3, day 4. I suppose it's really good.
Oh look! There are people saying, of course we can, but they're unlikely to. I think Sri Lanka will make it very difficult for Australia in the second innings. I got particularly upset with Travis Head yet again today. You see that shocking rubbish ball went in the leg side, and they claimed the batsman nicked, and they went crazy. And Travis Head was getting really angry. How dare he? It was a rubbish delivery.
Yeah, absolutely right, Norman. I think the some of the carrying on that you saw today was reflection of how good Sri Lanka have batted. The reason Sri Lanka have come out and dominated the whole day and not let Australian into this Test match was clear frustration from the bowling perspective, and how Travis Head carrying on was just that. I think that is just reflecting how well Sri Lanka batted. Can they bat 5 sessions? Look, the capability is there, but I think the ball will play its part more and more. Sri Lanka gets 150 in front. I think it would be a good challenge for Australia to try and get in front, probably another 100, 150 runs and try and force a result. But I think the first session, again, is a cliche, but I think it's important. Australia did not start well from day 1 into day 2. Remember, so Sri Lanka have to finish well with the tail. Chandimal's there. They can get another 100 runs on. That's 160 runs lead, 160 plus. I think that would be very interesting. So again, whoever starts well is going to have an upper hand.
Oh look! Sri Lanka in the box seat. There's 67 in front. Chandimal will start tomorrow. He'll be supported by the other tailenders. Not greatly. They're not all standing batters. They just hang around Chandimal and they ink out another 50, 100 runs. That's going to be enormous.
Unbelievably enormous. And that's why I was a little bit more disappointed with Dick Waller towards the end of the day. If he carries on into tomorrow, I think he would have been a lot more impact coming in tomorrow. So rather than just trying to take the attack now, from my perspective, I think he could have just waited for the end of the day and come tomorrow, even more tired legs and whatnot. He could have been more capitalizing on the start the top has given.
But you can't be wrong with Dick because 5 or 6 of the batters got over 50. So the team collectively have done enough. Not the whole 10 batsmen, 11 batsmen get 50. So the fact, I could sense Russian Nicola was getting frustrated because he wasn't needed at all. The previous Test match, he was the centre of their innings. So it's not surprising that he failed.
And no doubt, I'm on the same page as you. I like him, but what I'm saying, what I'm reading is they're putting a lot of pressure on him. They want him to, and his glove work was a little bit untidier. So I can sense from outside, probably not so much from inside. I think they're giving him a lot of confidence, but from outside, it feels that they're putting him under pressure to perform both with glove and the bat. And I think from outside, it looks that he's feeling that pressure with his glove work a little bit untidy again this Test match, and his I think his role was not clear to him this Test match going in. But again, that's just from the outside perspective. He's third on the ladder for their keeping record for Sri Lanka. He's very close to surpassing Sangakkara as well. So I think he's their number one. Yeah, he's their number one keeper at the moment. So they got to back him.
He performed pretty well in the first set, and admittedly, his team got him past the Australian bat, which took away his thunder a little bit. And I'm by no means defending him, but I do think that it really did. Does kind of, I could say, I know Ross Dickwella's character. He had no pressure on him, and he kind of doesn't like that. He likes a bit of pressure. And I think that. Not that I'm saying that he would have to pressure, but I think that affects his
batting. Yeah, fair enough. With 4 wickets in hand, I think Sri Lanka can up the ante. I know they've been scoring quite slowly, and there's a lot of media about how their run rate's been, below 3. But you look at they've forced Australians to bowl 149 overs. They've tied legs going in, which means if Sri Lanka has to bat fourth inning, they will be in a very good position to chase a total of probably 100 or 100, 120 if Australia really bat big. Which means the bowlers will be really tired. They've already bowled 149 overs, and come tomorrow, if they force them to bowl another 30 odd overs, 30, 40 overs, I think they'll be well and truly tired. And as I said, Nathan Lyon's not 100%. He walked off at one point with sore hammy as well. So don't know what. There hasn't been any news unless you've seen anything on Nathan Lyon's injury. I haven't read much at the moment of what the scale of his injury is at this stage.
Okay, Buckle does. Most of Pakistan winning against Sri Lanka, India are out of the World Test.
And that's
Sri
interesting.
Lanka are third.
They're third, absolutely. Because Australia losing this Test match will cluster the table up top 4. Because Sri Lanka will squeeze in Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, South Africa, which I see dropping them off after Australian summer. But Australia's there, so that 4 team, any two can make the final. So I see South Africa being in a tougher situation at the moment because they've got England, who are red hot, and then they've got Australia in Australian condition, which would be tough for them to win. So I think it's interesting.
I was unable to go to Sri Lanka now, but there's still 2 matches against Pakistan. I actually find them intriguing. Now seeing the way Sri Lanka. Okay, let's have a look here. Sri Lanka will beat Pakistan. I don't think so.
I think it would be very, very well contested. It would be more competitive than Australia and Sri Lanka. Yeah, I agree with Sam's comment here. Head's behaviour on field was not acceptable.
So stop getting stuck in the suburbs. He has a right to not like things. I hate Travis Head too. I'm not going to be unabashed by it. He annoyed me again today. Len Labuschagne threw this helmet on the pitch. Did you see that? Very stupid.
And that's the thing, the characters of these guys is that they do carry on, but the way they behaved and the way they continue to carry on was reflection of how well Sri Lanka have played. And they were just thinking it's a walk in the park, but they made sure that everyone got a good big start and make, convert those starts into high 50s or 100. Four guys have got 50 plus scores, which is, fantastic from Sri Lanka. Really, really good character showing from Sri Lankan batting.
Absolutely. Seen this Harmony, incredible brunette. Okay. If India wins,
how many ice creams have you polished today?
India's going to do big in the World Cup. I think so too.
I think so.
We can draw this game. Australia don't deserve to draw this game. I hope they don't.
I think Sri Lanka in a really good box seat. They should control it from here on. 2 days of Test cricket, very competitive.
Yeah, I think Australia's still going to I can't see them not.
They've got West Indies. They've got 2 tests there, and then they've got South Africa. I think they will be there and thereabouts. I think my personal opinion, I think it will come down to India Australia series, and the winner of that series will play the final.
The winner of that series will play the final, and the other team will be.
Could be anyone. Could be South Africa. Could be Pakistan. Could be Sri Lanka.
Oh, I hope it's not South Africa. They don't deserve it.
I hope
Stuff their way through.
I think England will get the best out of South Africa. I think England is red hot at the moment.
How have they done?
South Africa at home, they've won a lot of games at home, but they haven't travelled outside home. So that's their first test outside home this English summer, and then Australian summer will be even tougher for them because that's a real challenge. They haven't won in Australia well. They've drawn series here. They haven't won well in Australia, and same with England. I think England have got the best out of South Africa last time as well. So I think that 2 tough series will push South Africa behind.
Yeah. My voice is echoing, telling me now. Abhinav Prasad and hello. Is it? Not now. It's not. It's stopped.
It's just random.
It's just random. All right. How long we got to go before? We've got another 15 minutes before the toss for India.
India, game 3.
India-England match. India, my God, they've got England out for 148 and 121. Incredible. And I think that's what gives me a lot of indication of how well India will play in the 2020 come by the time World Cup comes around. This series have also given them opportunity to try and test different combinations and whatnot. But the thing will be interesting how much the viewership will be split between cricket and tennis tonight, because obviously there's a lot of interest from Australian side of things, because Kyrgios is playing his first Slam final, which he got a walkover over Nadal against Djokovic, and then on the same token you'll be watching cricket. So if you've got 2 screens, get it going. Oh, okay. I'm just excited. I don't know which. I've got 2 TVs. You don't see them, but I've got Wimbledon ready to go here. I've got the cricket on the other. I mean, Nick, what do you honestly think of Nick Kyrgios?
I think talent-wise, I respect it. But as a sportsman and a person who does not respect the sport that puts bread on his table, it is disappointing. It is really disappointing to see a guy who's got such a talent, but he does not respect the sport itself. So for me, I think he could have behaved a bit better. Overall, his conduct on and off the court is just not of a person who respects his own sport. That's the most disappointing part for me. I would have liked to see him a bit more humble, a bit more, controlled with what he says or choosy with it. A lot of guys have got angers and whatnot. They do show it on court, off court, but they actually have got good media team and they choose good right words. I know it's makeup and whatnot, and he says that he is what he is, but you got to respect your sport. That's simple as that.
Okay, but if he wins Wimbledon, we'll celebrate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Australian will definitely celebrate because it's the first time after 2003 when Philippoussis qualified for the final in Wimbledon. So it's a big thing, big achievement. It's a long time coming. Obviously, we've had Pat Rafter, who every Australian loved twice, missed out on winning a Wimbledon, and then Philippoussis after that. So I know there's been long time before drinks in Wimbledon. Obviously, Ash Barty's been carrying the flag for Australia in tennis. But
for our doubles pairing, Ebden and Purcell, who just won the Wimbledon's doubles.
Yep.
It's a pretty big deal.
It's been a long time since 2003, as I said. Philippoussis was last time, so it would be very well celebrated in Australia, I suppose.
But it's funny you say that. I agree with men's tennis. Yes, Ash Barty won Wimbledon last year, and the men's doubles won this year. I think our other Stoser and I think it was Ebden. They made the final.
Double as well, yeah, mixed double as well, yeah.
So we're bloody in everything. We're in the women's and men's doubles. We're in the women's tournament as well. We haven't exactly been out of the tournament.
No, of course not. And I think last year, one of the youth one he played a final as well. So tennis has been in good hands. It's just that the icon of tennis that everyone talk about being men's tennis being a premium out of the whole tennis, and that's where we've been a bit unfortunate in recent years. In post Leighton Hewitt, I think Hewitt won twice.
And of course, Mark Woodford and
Woodies, both Woodies.
The Woodies, they're commentating this now. Okay. Sebastian wants to tell me what I think it's going to be. It won't be 3 sets to Djokovic. I reckon Kyrgios will at least win one, possibly two, and could well win it. He won't be a 3 that's in the above.
Interesting is last two meetings, Kyrgios had beat Djokovic.
And I talk about me hating COVID head. I hate Djokovic too because of his bloody COVID crap that he had earlier this year. That was embarrassing.
And he's not going to US Open as well because he said that because of the vaccination and all that, and there's same restrictions there in US, so he's not going to US Open. He's already said that. And now that Australia have lifted all the restrictions of vaccination and whatnot, so he'll play. His next slam is Australian Open, so he's definitely already said that he's.
Sam Hislop likes playing McDermott, we know that. Katham official Rowett. This is his team today, I'm guessing. Rowett, Huda, Coley, Huda open. I don't think they'll change. Hardy Pandy
has been fantastic ever since he's come back from injury. He's been a real mainstay in the middle order. I'd like to see him bowling a bit more in one-day cricket and come back in some sort of role play in Test cricket as well. I think he's good enough to play all three formats.
They're showing Mel Bandian and Leighton Hewitt. I can remember that vividly. I mean, I've been to quite a few, and I went to the 9-7 final. The next day I went to the World Cup men's final from Lords. Had a big action pack. I told you, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. My brother went to last time when Federer won the grass court. My brother was there in Wimbledon watching him winning the final. So he said the environment is just different. It's just phenomenal.
Oh, so this stadium very boutique, but still sensational.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of all Aussie play on to 33 plus. Sebastian is saying very much in it, lose 2 matches out of 7 and get greater than 7. Is that right?
No, I'll have to have a look, but 2 matches out of 7 test matches. So if they lose another 2, but they win 5, then yeah, that makes
When
sense.
they're playing Sri Lanka at home, they've got a great chance of winning. Then they play England in their home,
Yeah.
and I think they're going to do well there. So they're in a pretty good. They may not do well. Well, they're playing Australia, I think. So they're in with a great chance.
I think so.
Zadfit Bakari, who has a question for you. Can you read that?
Yeah. I agree. Pakistan have been hot and cold in 2020, especially when they're away. They haven't been that consistent. But now England are playing with a different mindset. I think with Butler taking a little bit of time to settle in as a captain as well. Morgan was a fantastic tactician, even though he wasn't in a great form, but he was a great tactician. But I think India coming out of 2020 franchise cricket with IPL and whatnot, they're red hot. Even though they play in India, they will go well in Australia as well when the cup is on. So I have no doubt that India will be in top 4 here in the finals. So yeah, they're just dominating 2020 at the moment.
Okay.
Agree.
All right. So we've got about how long? We've got another 10 minutes. Is it? No, 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Toss.
Mhm.
Interesting to see what happens there. Chris Jordan. He played a bit of BBL, didn't he?
He has, yeah. He played for us in Thunder first. Then he went to Perth, and then last year he had a stint with us at Sixers. He's very skilled bowler. I respect him. I like him very much. What he can do with the ball, his change ups and downs are really good, and he can hit the Yorkers really well. So that's why they keep him in their plans for World Cup. He's when he really wants to bowl fast, he can go clock 140 plus, good bouncer, good Yorker. So multi-skill bowler and fantastic fielder as well. So if you see him, he saves you extra 8 to 10 runs. You're already ahead. So I like his skill set and what he brings into the team. I think that's why English want to keep him in their frame for 2020 Cup.
So why does he play for? I'm going to say he seems to be just a short form bowler.
True. He's had a bit of an injuries in his time, and he's now trading well in just the white ball cricket. I think he's whatever his career is left, I think it's going to be in 2020 and franchise cricket. I don't think he's in their plans for one-day cricket as well, but he's just in the 2020 plans, I think, for the World Cup mainly, and also for the franchise cricket. I think that's what his career is going to be like. And same with Sam Curran. If you look at the left armer, they started playing Sam Curran in Test match as well, but it didn't work for them. So now Sam Curran is also sidelined or singled out as a white ball option, and his brother Tom as well. So Tommy's played for Sixers as well. He's again another skill bowler with change ups and he can actually handle the bat as well. So both Curran brothers, Jordan, they're all been, I think, sidelined for white ball cricket more so 2020.
And Works is still somewhere, is he?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I think Works as well. Now that they've got plenty of pace options, I think it's good for English cricket now that they've got they're 2 debutants this summer already with the quicks, and yeah, I think they're well stocked with the pace battery at the moment.
Look at the England squad. After 7-8 for 1. Awful. Moen Ali was the high 100. Milan and Livingston. Dave Willett at the bowling at 33. But Bobby took 3 for 15. He bowled sensational.
Yeah. No, he's champion actually, and English conditions suits him really well, and Aussie conditions too, where he gets good bounce, and he hits the seam. He's a really good manipulator of both seam and swing.
What's your Bulgaria asked? I don't think it's going to.
I think there's a result. I see there's still 2 days in Test cricket. I think there should be a result. I think Sri Lanka will try and move the game in first session, but if they're all out with 100 runs lead, I think that's still more than what Aussies expected. So they'll have to come out and score with a decent pace. But it won't be easy with Sri Lankan spinners and bit of pressure. I think it'd be. At this point, I see a result.
Okay. I'm just looking at the Wimbledon. I was front row. Women's between Serena Williams and Lorna Halep. Absolute front row. Like when she would go to one side of the court, she could easily kept running and landed on my lap. It's quite fun.
You could have given her a high five, Norman.
Well, out comes Djokovic. No, sorry. Kyrgios is coming out with a white hat, by the way, because he threatened to wear a red hat, and he's informed.
Yeah.
And he's the first person to walk out. Djokovic is behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And I would argue Kyrgios looks decidedly nervous.
I think so. I think his press conference was a bit trying to put off Djokovic as well, and he just needs a good media manager, I suppose. I don't know where he gets his he's
got nothing to lose because Djokovic is expected to win, so he's got nothing to lose. So he should absolutely go for it. And you're saying the last 2 matches he beat Djokovic.
He beat Djokovic. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is, yes.
Djokovic has been losing the first set or two and coming back and winning at 5-set.
He has been. He's played long matches this English summer. So he closes the game off really early and then cruise into the finals and whatnot if he has to play long match. But he has been playing long matches even leading up to the finals as well. So that will test his fitness as well. And look, Kyrgios has got.
Djokovic could have had it easier. So he didn't play the semi-final. He won in 3 sets in the quarterfinal. He's had a pretty soft start, so he should be fresh.
Exactly right. The thing is that the contrast is going to be interesting with Kyrgios big serve and Djokovic being best returner at the moment. So it'll be very interesting.
Yeah, the Djokovic and Kyrgios are not talking. There's no discussion between them.
Doesn't surprise me.
Djokovic is doing all these ridiculous bends, but Kyrgios is just standing there like he's going to a nightclub.
Exactly. That's what he puts on his cool face.
Well, it'll be fantastic. It'll be fantastic. I'd love Kyrgios to win, no matter how much we so-called hate him.
Yeah, I think the article I was reading yesterday, it was probably first time when both the finalists have been booed off in Wimbledon. Both Djokovic has been booed off and both Kyrgios has been booed off. I don't know who the crowd is going to support.
Now, have we had a toss yet?
I think they're just about to toss.
I'm just seeing Ravi Shastri talking on screen to Nasser Hussain.
Yeah. Yeah. So
let's have a look.
No news of team yet. Normally they just announce a team, but I think that will be just after the toss.
Enough build-up. It's time for the toss. Nothing's happened so far.
No.
Oh, that's also just happened. It looks like Butler has won the toss.
Yeah, England probably.
What's he going to do? Well, he won the toss last time. England win the toss and the batting. Yes. Oh no, they're batting first this time. They've changed.
They've got a couple of changes.
So they lost. They've won the toss and bat. Second, they're winning the toss and they're batting.
Batting. So Butler's talking about changes, but I've got mute, so I don't know.
In the toss. And elect. Elect to bat. I don't think it's going to make much difference.
No. It's interesting. Out of the last 5 T20s, England have only won 1, and India have got 4 wins in the last 5 T20 games. So the history, the pattern is in India's favour. But it'd be interesting to see if they attack and score.
It's funny. I'm just taking what's going on here. I've got 3. I've got one with you and me talking, one with Robert Sharma talking, one with Kira. Crazy.
You're in heaven.
Okay. Warner's scoring quickly made better. Look, I really think that I think this is the time that Nick Sharma will come into play, and this left-arm bowler will actually really come into play against. I haven't unleashed Kamindu Mendes as a bowler because he's ambidextrous. He bowls left and right arm. He hasn't bowled delivery in the first innings. I reckon that was deliberate because Australia haven't had exposure to him, and they're going to get a bit of a shock. He bowls the second innings. I reckon it's a little sickle.
It would be interesting. It'd be very interesting tomorrow after lunch when he comes on.
Why didn't he bowl the first innings on?
Yeah, I know. They just used the four bowls. And it's good for debutant to get in 6. I think he'll be another weapon. He will probably get another 4. I like him to get 4 and get a 10 for the game, but
yeah. But we haven't got any goal on the circuit.
There isn't. That's the unfortunate part, and there's no spinners behind Nathan Lyon at the moment. That's really threatening. You've got spinners with bits and pieces like Schwepson. You've got Kuhneman, you've got Agar, but there's not real standout spinner that you can go that this is going to come and take place for Nathan Lyon. So, it's unfortunate.
England have brought in Salts and Topley's back in.
Yep.
So Willie's been kept in. So Salt's batting at 4. Who batted at 4? I think Moeen Ali was hot.
Was he? So Curran misses out. Parkinson misses out.
Yeah.
Topley's back and Salt is back. So
and Parkinson as well.
Yeah.
Umran Malik is playing.
Oh, good. I like him. Get a bit of a run. So it'd be interesting if he pushes the clock past 150.
So we've got Rowan, Coley, Guy, Punt, Iyer, Kartik, Jadeja, Harshal, Bish, Khan, Malik, Bish.
Pretty good team. Still pretty good team.
So why don't change?
I think they just want to give Imran a bit of a run as well. He's been again tagged as one of the pace and the find of IPL, and everyone in India talking about getting him a fair run leading up to 2020 Cup. So I think it's a good option to give him a few more games.
I just.
So Hardik is out.
Hardik Pandya is not playing.
Mm-hmm. Umran and
are they resting these players?
Sorry?
Are they resting Pandya?
Maybe. Because Bhuvi... I wish Umran. There's 3 changes.
Bishnoi for Hardik.
So Bishnoi for Hardik.
Bishnoi has gone for Hardik. Bhuvi, Bumrah and Chahal.
Yeah. So
Bumrah's not playing as well.
Yeah, Chahal, Bumrah and Bhuvi all rested.
Aya, Abdishran, and Bishnoy. Hardik, Bhuvi, Kahal, West. They must be just giving these blokes a go.
That's what my feeling is, that they're getting all the other guys on the bench a game time, because they've played probably 1 or 2 games prior, and then just rotating through those guys, giving them a bit of game time. Pandey have been playing non-stop since IPL as well, so it's probably a well-earned rest as well.
They haven't been weak. They're still a good side.
Very good side. Look, Dinesh Karthik's number 6. Look, the guy's made debut when Tendulkar was playing, and what a story that this guy's had. And he made his first 50 the other day. The guy keeps churning runs at domestic level and keep pushing the limit. So I like him. I want him to stay in that middle order. Yeah, still very strong team.
They've added another batsman.
Jadeja at 7, and then 4 bowlers. So yeah, it's still balanced team. Yeah, it'd be interesting. How hard England go at top.
Just back to Nick Kyrgios. He broke with his girlfriend, who he's having legal battles. There's another girl. I think probably his sister. Looks quite chubby.
Yeah, the other girl that has actually laid charges against him. So that court case is pending. Soon as he comes back, I think that's going to get some media, especially if he wins this slam.
Oh yeah. But she timed it beautifully. Typically, she timed it.
Exactly. Typical cashing in.
It's disgusting. I can't stand women that do this. I cannot. It's like my sister.
It's just no respect for other person. As soon as you see money, you just try and cash in. And we've just had
major damage.
We've just seen so much media on those Hollywood actors in the famous court case for what was that?
What's his name? The guy from Scissorhands.
Yeah.
But Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp's case. It's so much media, and I was happy that for once it went to a male favor, and not just that I'm supporting anything else, but it's just women trying to cash in. It's just disappointing.
It annoys me. Sorry, we're about to start.
Yeah, so both games are about. It's very exciting time. I've got my iPad is going with cricket, and I've got tennis on telly because there'll be a little bit more time before cricket starts. So I'm going to.
Djokovic double fault.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'll take excuse from you, Norman. I'll sit back and watch a little bit of.
All right, you go watch.
And we'll catch up.
Thanks, mate.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a very interesting day for Test match.
Oh, gotcha. Talk tomorrow.
Thanks, mate. Thanks to your audience as well. Talk soon.
I always enjoy having you on.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
Ciao. All right. So here we are, Djokovic versus Kyrgios. Djokovic leads 30-15 in this match so far. Did you feel like Garrow time was over? Yes. Why isn't Wassim Akram commenting? Need to see the return of Shaz and Waz show. I think so too. Kyrgios is playing very well. It's 30 all. 30 all. So Shastri's having a good chat to, I mean, it's Owen, I'm not sure, is it Owen Morgan? Who's he just talking to there? I'm not going to be able to watch much of this match, guys, because I'm really we can pick young spinner like Murphy, perhaps. Himanshu, you never know. On the bench, there's Nasser Hussain and Nick Knight and Ravi Shastri. Djokovic's not serving well. Very loose. Djokovic 1-0. Oh. Yeah, well, it's not. I'm not surprised he's letting 1-0 in the set so far. Extremely early days. So in this match here, Virat Kohli, well, England are batting first this time. Aren't they? Kyrgios is carrying his first Grand Slam final. His previous best result was a quarterfinal twice, 2015 Australian Open, and then some other tournament. He's playing well. Out. Kyrgios looks good. Okay. Wouldn't it be fair to say younger people probably care or love to follow the shorter format? Which perhaps so. No, well, partly true, partly true. Oh my gosh, Ireland made 270 plus against New Zealand. Well, Ireland are not going to be sneezed at, Himanshu. Well played, Kyrgios. He's playing well. Playing very well. Playing very well. Yeah, it's a buckle day. It's a fair point you're saying that older people like to screw. It's not necessarily wrong. All those with a cricket aficionado status certainly would be. Kyrgios is looking pretty good today. He's going to make a big game of this. Kyrgios is playing the stupid underarm serves. Kyrgios shouldn't have played an underarm serve. I'll go the bet after the Kyrgios match. Yes, I will. He's up 40-30. He's played a bit sloppy there with that underarm rubbish. Serve big. Come on, Kyrgios, serve big. Yep, so they deserve that one all. All right, so looks like his sister there. Wimbledon final, for heaven's sake. England won the toss in the batter. We've just said that before. Live preview there. One all. Oh, it's. Oh, he played a good point there and blew it. 15 love. She could easily won that point. Should have won that point, actually. I dare say. Okay. Trent Bridge on the Birmingham. Trent Bridge. Lovely backdrop there. I like the way they got the seat there. It's in. 50. What a good shot that was. I'm in front. I'm in front of Nawa. 30-15 Sebastian. Great return. Morgan Stewart Broader out there, obviously contemplating a future in his career set. Djokovic's 30-15 up. What do you got, Sebastian? What do you think is one of the best spa resorts in Sri Lanka? Oh my God, back in the there's plenty. There's one there in Gaul. There's one up in. There's plenty of them. There's Hambang Tota, Tisamaharama, Dumbula, all over the place. What is your favourite sport outside of cricket? Geordie, wants to ask me. Cricket, obviously, number one. Rugby league, my famous South Sydney Rabbitohs here. That's my team there. That's rugby league. Tennis is up there too, especially Wimbledon. Showing Kia vehicles. AFL, so much stuff. I'm not a big fan. A little bit, and Sydney Swans doing well. A little bit Carlton back in the old days, but not really. I don't follow it now. I've lost interest. Rugby league's my sport. I like the Olympics as well. I was in Sydney Olympics language services manager during the Sydney Olympics. It was a big deal for me. Yeah. Trent Bridge is the highest RPO in T20s. No, Headingley's first, then Taunton and Sofia, Bulgaria. What the hell is that? Brabourne, Mumbai, Karachi, Northampton, Kiripur, Nepal, Bristol, Derby, Old, Hararians, Harare, and Chelmsford. Highest RPO returns per RPO. What's the return? I don't know. Golf. I'm a US Open. Might watch, yeah, a bit of golf. I don't mind watching. I'm not a player of golf. Curious is up to 15 love there. Let's just see. England win the toss and batting. It's not going to change anything, by the way. 40 love. Kyrgios has certainly got some stamina there. Nick Kyrgios, I'll tell you what. To all, yeah, I tell you what. I've got my suspicions here that he's going to do well. It's early, I know. England winning the toss and batting, all that's going to do is just make India bat well towards the end. So we've got about 8 before the game starts. I won't be watching the game. I'll be watching the tennis, I think. I'll watch both. It was a good drop shot. Very good drop shot. We're seeing some cricket action, not just yet. Djokovic does not like drop shots. 15:30, hello. Big chance here. Vitality in T20, international T20. Important game for Kohli, isn't it? This is a bummer, Babu, you're right. I'm not watching tennis. No, tennis is on. The cricket's not started yet. We know that England have won the toss and they're going to bat first. They've made the changes accordingly. It looks like it's out. Kapil Dev said some strong words about Virat. He did. Kyrgios is playing really well. Why not Stokes in the squad? I think he's had too much cricket, to be honest. Why no Stokes? I don't know that. And he's probably playing a body that can't handle all formats, which makes sense. Oh my God, Djokovic is defaulting. Oh, he got 30-40, really. He's smalling for me, Sebastian. Oh, damn it. He had that point one. Returning well. Djokovic always returns well. All right, guys. We're going to have an early finish tonight, I reckon. Curious break. I'll let it go. So it's 40 all, then a break, was it? Curious goes to 3-2 there. Interesting situation unfolding here. And then breaks. Curious breaks, yes, I got that. England versus South Africa coming up. It's the women's, is it the women's? England versus India, and the next, that's all coming up. Australia versus Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an incredibly good situation with that. Here comes the Indian side onto the field. And they're coming out to the middle. They're going to come out and do another ceremonial thing. It's 2 minutes to go before the game starts. Nick Kyrgios is in some sublime form at the moment. Got to capitalise on this game. Obama by 30 Trump will start selling the Storms back. His hallmark yes, but he won't want to let it get away too quickly. Is it a fault? Incredible serving. Here we go. We've got is it Roy and Butler. Djokovic looks very flat. Very, very flat. They've got Jason Roy facing up with Butler. India really have the ascendancy there. So it's two incredible games going on at one time. 4-2 Kyrgios, I thought so. Mild first serve. Roy's 61 matches, 450 runs over 24. It's almost like Kyrgios wants to rampage through this first set. It's only been going 19 minutes. Khalid Nassim, there was a time when England category was full of heroes. Stuart Eldridge, Favell, Caldwell, etc. Why England are unable to produce top class cricket? I don't know. Can't answer that one for you. Kyrgios just seems to be, the momentum's on his side. He wants to pursue that. It's Awish Khan over the volley. It is Awish Khan. It was a bit cheeky of. I didn't need to play that shot. He should have played a bigger passing shot. That annoys me a little bit. No, he's just playing that silly shot. I think some weird shots. His serve's not right. Okay, we'll wait and see, Sebastian. Ooh, what's the catch there? Okay. That's a good shot there. There's Khan getting a Guernsey. All right, guys, we might call it in now. You can watch this program. England have won the toss in the batting, a changed lineup, putting Salt in the side. India polls changes based on giving players a go, which I respect. Still got enough side for India to win. Avish Khan seems to be on top of things. Kiras's sister, obviously the chubby bird in the middle there. Very important match for Kyrgios to win this game now, to go 5-3 up. This sort of silly dink shots that he plays. Fantastic serve. All right, we'll end it there, guys. I think that's going to be... Yep, okay. All right, I'm going to watch this as a big tennis match. All the best, guys. England should not have a chance against India, win 3-0. We'll talk more tomorrow when Australia plays Sri Lanka. All the best.